Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of Purkey Horror Picture Show. And this episode is going to be all about It Came from Outer Space from 1953.
Then at a deadly pace, it came from outer space. And this is how the message ran.
Alright, It Came from Outer Space is directed by Jack Arnold. It is squarely in the 50s sci-fi genre. Jack Arnold is famous as a director of that era. He did Tarantula, which is coming up later in the series as well. He did The Incredible Shrinking Man, which is one of the best, some people say one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. Definitely one of the best sci-fi movies before 2001: A Space Odyssey. He also did The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is considered a classic by a lot of people as well in the monster genre. So, It Came from Outer Space. It's one of the early 3D movies. The version I saw is actually streaming on Hulu. It's not 3D, the one I saw, but that's fine. Has a really crisp, really good film quality to it. I don't know how they restored it, but it looks really great. A lot like the Twilight Zone as far as that very set oriented, and it does have a lot of location footage too, but both things have a real nice, clean, black and white filming quality to them. The two main characters are Josh and Ellen. They're a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, or older, I guess, a couple. They're not married, and the guy is a astronomer or amateur astronomer. I wasn't quite sure. It doesn't really matter. And she's a teacher. And they are both looking at the stars with their telescope one night, and a meteor crashes into the desert because they live in Arizona. And they quickly run out to go see where the meteor landed. And they get out there. John crawls down into the crater, and lo and behold, he sees an alien spaceship, which is very quickly covered up by a landslide, but not before he has a chance to see that the spaceship opens up and there might be some kind of a creature inside there. Really great setup, real basic. There's a lot of alien POV footage where it looks like they're filming through a round, clear lens of some sort or a filter, making it look like a single eyeball, because the creatures, when you do see them, they kind of look like big brain creatures with an eyeball sticking out the front of it. The eyeball's on a stalk, so it comes out at you. And I'm sure that's partly for the 3D effect they're trying to get to scare audiences. There's several kind of categories of 50 sci-fi movies. So one is just aliens coming to Earth. The other one is like giant bugs or giant creatures of some sort attacking, and which we'll see in Tarantula. This one, although it is aliens, is also in that kind of subcategory of that 50s paranoia, where you've got movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Invaders from Mars, where there are aliens, but what they do is essentially they're taking over humans. So they look like humans, but they're not. And that's The Thing is another one like that, at least the remake of The Thing. The idea is that, kind of like communists are among us, they're here. And here, in this case, the aliens are among us because they can take on the appearance of the humans. The different way this one works is, though, the aliens in this movie are not evil. They just are on their way to another planet. They accidentally land here. They're stuck here. They don't want to interact with us. And the whole point of the movie is basically they're just trying to pretend to be humans, get electrical supplies so they can rebuild their ship and take off and get out of here.
I want to help you. Then keep away. Keep away, John Putnam. We don't want to hurt you. You least of all. We don't want to hurt anyone.
They do threaten the humans, so the main character will go out, like John will go out and encounter the fake humans that are actually aliens. And what the aliens basically do is they kidnap a bunch of real humans, take on their personalities, and the real humans are kept as hostages. So if anyone does try to come after them or their ship, they're going to kill them all. They threaten violence. That part's not so cool from the aliens. But overall, They say, well, it's too early. You guys can't handle us. If you see us, you'll freak out. Which at one point, one of them does reveal himself to the main character, and he does freak out because they're big eyeball monsters. So that's kind of funny. A couple interesting things about this movie. One is there are several helicopter shots, I think, which are kind of unusual for a film at this time. They do have a scene where they actually take a helicopter out to the crater, so I'm guessing they had access to a helicopter, which usually a smaller budget sci-fi flick of that era probably wouldn't have. So they've got quite a few shots where you're following along a car and it's obviously from a helicopter or some higher crane or something, which gives it a little bit more of a modern look in some of those shots than you usually would see in those films. A couple other little details. You do have a side character, which is a little different in this movie too, played by Russell Johnson. I believe that's the name, yeah. Russell Johnson, who is the professor in Gilligan's Island. So you get to see him in a very early role, which is kind of cool. I would also like to make special notice of the heroine, played by Barbara Rush. Barbara Rush is not a famous actress, but she's really great in this. She also appears in When Worlds Collide. There's a lot of crossover here. The main actor in this, I didn't write his name down, but I believe he also is in Creature of the Black Lagoon. So you get a lot of these older movies. They have like the same directors, similar actors, things like that. Great thing about her is she is the stereotypical, like, scared 50s, sci-fi woman that will scream at everything, and it's like, it's really great to see like how they really play that up. At one point, actually, I'll probably put some of them in here. At one point, she screams at a Joshua tree. Then she screams at a kid coming in a robot costume. And then she screams. She's always screaming at stuff that isn't really scary. I don't know if I'm supposed to make jump scares out of it. But there are also a couple scenes of strangely poetic moments, which don't quite fit in this. I don't know if they came from the book. I think it is, or the story. I think it's based on a Ray Bradbury story. There's one point where the main guy talks about how the desert is dangerous.
And yet it looks so dead out there.
Oh, no, it's alive and waiting for you. Ready to kill you if you go too far. The sun will get you, or the cold at night. 1,000 ways the desert can kill.
And another guy who's a telephone line repairman guy is talking about, listening to the voices coming over the lines and stuff.
I wonder who it is.
I don't know. After you've been working out on the desert 15 years like I have, hear a lot of things. See a lot of things, too. Sun in the sky and the heat. All that sand out there with the rivers and lakes that aren't real at all. And sometimes you think that the wind gets in the wires and hums and listens and talks. Just like what we're hearing now. Still hear it?
No, it's gone.
Well, that's the way it is. Comes and goes. Had enough?
Yeah.
Me too.
And it's pretty fun. So overall, It Came from Outer Space is a lot of fun. It's less than 90 minutes. If you're into old 50s sci-fi, it's definitely a great addition to the usual ones that you hear about. Definitely a cut above some of the really, really bad ones. So it's pretty fun. I'd give 3.5 to 4 stars. You could do a lot worse than checking out It Came from Outer Space. So after that, coming up next will be Dr. X. See you soon.